Can a seller back out of a real estate transaction before closing?
No.
Well, they could, but... Hi, I'm Francine Viola, Realtor in Olympia, Washington, and the question is, can a seller terminate a real estate transaction once they are under contract with a buyer? And the answer is, they could. It's not easy, and it depends upon the buyer's actions or inactions in order to terminate a contract, and that's why it's a little tricky. If the seller doesn't have a contractual out, then the seller would absolutely need the expert advice of a real estate attorney. For a list of the top Olympia area real estate attorneys that I work with and that can help you, send me an email. But since I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving legal advice, I can talk about the terms in the purchase and sale agreement where a seller could terminate the transaction. The financing contingency form in our Northwest MLS is a complicated form, and there are several options and decisions for buyers and sellers to make on this form. The scenario of the seller using the financing contingency to terminate a buyer is if the seller delivers to the buyer a notice to perform, meaning, hey buyer, I want you to waive your financing contingency. And if the buyer does not respond nor waive their financing contingency, then the seller can terminate the transaction, but the earnest money would be returned to the buyer. A seller would do this for a few reasons. One, the seller received a better offer that they would rather accept, so the seller is trying to get rid of the first buyer. Second, the seller may not feel too confident with the current buyer's financing situation, and this puts the buyer on notice and can put pressure on the buyer to get their financing and lender in line. Another scenario where the seller could terminate the transaction is if the buyer is late in delivering their earnest money. Buyers, this is incredibly important for you to understand that you must deliver your earnest money on time. Otherwise, you risk the seller unilaterally terminating the agreement. In the current competitive market, sellers might be more apt to try to terminate your transaction because they received an offer that is more attractive to them, but they've already agreed to your offer. But there are other reasons why a seller needs or wants to terminate the transaction. The reason why the sellers were moving to begin with could have changed. That new job may have fallen through, the military orders have changed for the active duty seller, or there's been a change in the seller's marital or health status. Unexpected things can happen. Many times the parties can come to an agreement, but other times it might end up with one party demanding performance from the other and/or a compensation for damages. As a seller, you'll want to protect yourself, and if you find that you need to terminate your contract, contact your trusted real estate attorney to help and advise you. Be sure to check out my other videos about terminating a real estate transaction. If you are looking to buy or sell in the Olympia area, call me or send me an email to schedule time to discuss your next move. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.